What's this all about? It's basically an introduction, 1 hour of deep content about how to access flow states, how to become a peak performer without burning out, and why we are doing it. And it's probably quite clear that we are in the midst of a paradigm shift. Normally, I do the questions, what kind of change we are in at the moment, because as leaders, we all have to know what level of change we are in to adapt accordingly to it. But probably for you, it's quite clear we are in the midst of a paradigm shift. And that this doesn't feel very good. You see, it's stressful. Everybody we are working with is overloaded, overworked. The world has us. There's so many things going on in parallel. And many of our clients say they feel constant stress. They sleep poorly. They even some of them really want to achieve their next level, but they don't know how. So it's really a contractional point where we are all in. And the key question is, are we great leader if we are stressed and overwhelmed? Probably not. And that's why the key question is how to make a leap, because we have only two options. We break down, or we make a leap into a new paradigm where we can hold this whole world in us, where we lead with more consciousness and more coherence and hold more complexity. We don't have to decide us versus them or work versus life. No, we can hold it very clearly in ourselves. And these people who are really striving into this new paradigm, who want to make this conscious leap, we call them the transformative class. Probably you could name yourself. I don't know what you're doing. Are you a leader, performer, educator, social architect, entrepreneur? But you are here probably really keen to understand, how do I build or co-create this leap into a new paradigm with less stress, without burning out. And that's the idea of vertical development. That's why we are founded, because we found out the key problem behind is not too much information or too much complexity. No, it's basically our disconnection, the great separation. We have lost any connections. Most of us are stuck in their head. They act like a head on a stick. They lost themselves. They are only in their head. They're over mentalized. And you're not a good leader if you are over mentalized and having no access to your emotions, to your energy emotions, where you can relate with others and lead them. The vertical transformation code, that's our main frame, our operating system, where we help leaders, performers, educators, or trainers like you to really evolve from within. And it's very basically timeless. It's just the 5 Ps. It's a clean code. It's not religious. It's really where everybody can relate to. And if you want to become holy and make an impact, these 5 Ps are necessary. And imagine yourself still in this paradigm shift, that we are in midst of transformation. And that's so important, that we are able to have this new super skill. How do I transform myself to transform the world? But not with stress from the outside. No, with inner freedom, with relentless focus and energy. And this is why we found vertical development 5 years ago. We are working all over Europe. We already trained over 1,000 leaders in 16 countries with 4.7 or 5 stars. Just that it's not just theory. We have proven this and helping really leaders and their teams to become their best selves, to transform their business from within, with more consciousness, open hearts, strong backbones, and courageous actions. And what are the results? And it's probably very important. We really work on all levels. You have much more deep sleep quality. This is the number one thing you have to do, become a peak performer. To become a peak performer, sleep better and deeper. They feel much less stress. They have 75% more productivity, even a day free every week. They feel more self-confidence and resonance in turbulent times, and they overcome their limiting beliefs and feel more autonomy in their leadership. So this is a really results of our clients. And the key question you will ask, how do we do it? So what does it really means to outgrow these problems? How to grow this from the person I am now and I could be? And that's quite simple. It's vertical development. Imagine yourself like a cup, like your capacity to hold the world. It's like a espresso cup. Yeah, and if you pour more in, then this cup and yourself feel more stress, and you're not open to anything. Yeah, you contract. Yeah, this is the situation I described before. And the only solution is not asking, oh, leader, make the world more simple, or it would be beautiful, it would be like the years, the centuries before, or I just retreat into the forest. The only sustainable solution, if you want to still be part of the transformative class and be a leader in this society, you have to grow the cup. And that's vertical development. You on all levels. So you grow the cup, for example, if you have deeper recovery rituals. Yeah, you sleep better, you have more energy and resilience. You have your rituals for nutrition, for relaxing through breath work. You can hold more stress without feeling stress. That's really the difference in our training, where we're not giving you a new skill, like a new language or a new tool. No, we grow your capacity so that you really have an inner space, a clear North Star where you can lead from. Yeah, you can hold different perspectives and still act. Why does it work for everybody? Because we work with human nature, not against it. We work with your nervous system, and you know it from neuroplasticity. The more you exercise, you make new experience, the more your brain and your nervous system rewires. And from the rewiring of your nervous system, then a new behavior and a new personality will show up, or new connections will show up. And that's the idea how we do it. And that's why we created an integrated training program where we don't start on leadership level, cognitive wise. No, we really help you to get your body, your heart, your mind, your thinking, your spirit, your action, your accessing to flow stay right in 90 days. And now it's your turn.
Thank you, Achim. What is flow and what's so good about it? So we define flow as an optimal state of consciousness or a peak state where we feel our best and perform our best. Why is this flow state in and of itself so nice, and why do we want to keep going back into it? Well, basically, it's very much connected to our neurochemicals and our neurobiology, because the flow state is most likely the only state where all the five feel-good neurotransmitters show up at the same time. So in the flow state, our body releases noradrenaline, anandamides, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, transient hypofrontality. What does this mean? Well, it's essentially the frontal part of our brain, the ego part of our brain, just shuts off. And for this short moment, we can just be. We don't have to perform. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to think about anything. We can just be and enjoy the present moment. There's been numerous very big studies done around flow states, and the results are quite impressive. 5-step process. And the first, and this is really the most important step, is to have a clear vision and a clear goal. Wherever we put our focus, this is where the energy goes. The second step is to have the right training system. We found that most people, and the number is even higher than you might think, that they fail when it comes to accessing peak performance and flow on demand. And it's actually 96% of people don't really have an access to it where they say, yeah, okay, now I can go into this state, or now I can go into that state. Now, what is the problem, and why do most of these approaches not really work? So you can imagine change like an iceberg. So what you see on the outside is the results and the performance, and this is always driven by certain behavior. So for example, you would say, well, if I want to be more productive, I just need to focus more. So this is then the behavior. But the problem is that we have something which is hidden under the water, and this is our inside world, because this was now just the outside, and the inside really dictates more your results and your behaviors than anything else. The third step is owning and making the most of your time. It's important to understand that yes, time is fixed, but the leverage you have on it is limitless. If you spend 5 hours every day in flow, 5 days per week, and you create crazy results that are super impactful and where your time is really leveraged, then I guarantee you, you will have a huge advantage and leverage your time, and you will never have to work more than 35 hours. Last, or the fourth step, sorry, is now integrating this into flow. So how can you tap into flow at the flip of a, not switch, but cycle? And I will explain in a second what that means. But basically, we have now the idea, okay, great, I have to spend more time in flow. I have some practical tools, but how can I now really tap into flow more readily? And the thing you have to understand there is flow is not a switch that I can just flip on and off like a light switch, but it's a cycle. And if you want to get into flow, you have to forget about flow. So now the last step, and this is a really, really important step, is mastering peak performance and flow. The way to mastering this and then also make it permanent is follows always the same logic and the same principle. And this applies for everything. So this you can apply to anything when it comes to mastering something. First, you always start out in an unconscious incompetence. And you realized, okay, I need to work on something. So now you start to go into conscious incompetence. You realize, okay, I need to change some things here or there. And then the next step, and this is where our training comes in, you go into conscious competence. So you learn different techniques, you improve, you know how to go into different states, you know how to rest, you know how to recover, you know how to release, you know how to focus, all these things, but it doesn't show up by itself yet. So you have to do it consciously. So it's like playing tennis. You still have to think, how do I hold the racket? Do I put it here? Do I put it there? And then the last step is unconscious competence. So this is where you just play the game and it just happens naturally, automatically. And how can you get there? Well, also it's important to have the right system. Summarize again. How does this work and how does this show up in our program? Well, basically, we have this 5 module approach. So you start first with a vision, clear goals, and part in it is integrating it so that you can take it with you.
We are here for the bridge builders, for the leaders of a new era, to lead from the best self, strong back, open heart, and courageous actions. Looking forward to hear from you. We will send you some snippets of this webinar and looking forward to train with you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, and see you guys on the other side.